if I hinge it at a 45-degree angle, look at this, the club's right in front of my body and the wrist is really flat. All right, Kev, let's do this. Hey, so guys, today I'm really excited. I have two of my buddies now, my new buddies in town from Mexico City, a place in the world that I've always wanted to go. We have Jose Maria Gutierrez and we have Rafa Gutierrez. So Kev, I'm gonna have you come over here and I'm gonna explain this station because this one was a huge help to the boys here about the takeaway. And it's one of the old classics I've been doing for a long time, but haven't really brought it up too much lately. So if I'm setting up and I'm addressing the ball, which is the red rod, and my goal at checkpoint 1, which we call checkpoint 1, you know, we don't have P anything. There's no P positions here. There's no 16 positions in a golf swing. There's checkpoint 1 and turn, guys. Okay, so, all right, we keep it a little more simple here. All right, so ready? Here we go. So we set up square to this line. We understand that we would love to get that club when it's parallel to the ground right down the line of our feet, right? But ready for this? If I'm being very specific about how I get there, 50% of this and the other 50% of this. 50% turn, 50% hinge, 50% hinge, 50% turn. My whole point is one's not happening before the other though. They're happening in a blended motion together. But what I love about this station is this white line that's at a 45-degree angle is defining what? Defining how much hinge is happening and in what direction the hinge is happening. My hands are always going down the yellow line. Watch this. Always down the yellow line. My club hinges towards the white line. Now watch this, guys. Ready? If I hinge this straight up, my wrist is cupped. Okay. If I hinge this straight back, my wrist is real bowed, right? Okay. If I hinge it at a 45-degree angle, look at this, the club's right in front of my body and the wrist is really flat. And that's where hinging it in this direction and combining that with a turn, here we go, that's how much hinge is taking place, with the turn, and I'm blending that motion right to the top, and that gets that wrist nice and flat, and the club face and my hands are really, I have that club face awareness that we talked about earlier, okay? So I want you to hop in there for a second. I want you to show me what that looks like and give me your take on, you know, what it feels like to you, because everything for you was just getting a little bit inside.
Yeah, so for me, I feel like I just match the white line, and then with my shoulders, I turn it to the position we want.
And what I was really bugging you about earlier was this.
Yeah.
Blend it.
Yeah.
Blend it. And that's what you were doing a fantastic job of.
But like for me, to feel like I'm able to blend it, I have to feel each part separate, so
Absolutely.
then I can do it.
And that's really great what he just said, you guys, for the viewer. I mean, you know, he needs to have it broken down, and he wanted to see it.
Yeah.
How much hinge, in what direction. Okay, and I'm turning. What's really great about it is you realize how little of a turn you have and how little of a hinge you actually have, you guys, to get to that position. How many people go like this? Full turn, and they're already there with all turn. And then their arms spend the rest of the time cruising to the top without their body. How many people go full hinge and no turn, and now the arms outrace the body to the top? But this really helps the golfer understand, hey, it's that much hinge, it's that much turn, and I'm just blending it into one consistent motion. And I think it's gonna make a big difference for you. So a couple more of these, give me a couple rehearsals, and then we'll get right back to it. We'll show people. Yeah, so that angle that Kevin's on right now is cool because he's filming it in the direction this club is seemingly hinging. The mistake many golfers make when doing this, guys, is they think, oh, this way, and their hands go whoop to get out there. We never want the hand path to leave straight back and up the plane, which is why that yellow line is very valuable. He can keep his hands going down that line, but he's just realizing what direction he needs to hinge the club. Watch, and the inclusion of this feeling with a nice full turn to the top really gets it online. Now, for our viewers who have been, I've been in the golfer's shoes. These guys too know the feeling. First time you do this and keep the club outside, you end up kind of wiping it out right sometimes because you think it's like the person's trying so hard to keep the club out they forget to make sure, yes, the club's out, but your chest and body are still turning everything to the top, which then allows you to trap it and actually be able to hit it straight, little tiny cut, or even turn it over. The golfer who tries to keep the club out and uses more hands and arms to do so typically can't catch up to their body, and then they end up hitting it right, and they feel like that way they're going more over the top. That's because they're trying to keep it out versus understanding it's just the turn, still moving the hands back up the proper path. Then it allows you to still trap it. I thought that's what you did a really good job of today. So that 45 degrees is helping him, and look at, this was his natural swing. Literally a couple swings later. I mean, you can see he's going right through it, and you guys can see, I mean, what a gorgeous golf swing Jose Maria has here. I mean, pretty darn good, huh? You saw the difference just in that takeaway of the club being in front of his hands. Not only just was that from a setup change, but that was just a little bit of understanding of how much hinge is happening right away, how much turn. So guess what the fun part is now? We get to see this guy stripe it. So go down line with yellow. Okay, now what we were doing, there's so many ways we can do this, you guys. There's, go ahead and set up. There's heel to toe, just to make it easy, and there's your 45-degree angle that he can then feel this motion, okay? There's just simply extending this out and moving it here as well. And that's what we were doing earlier. We just had the direction of that was set that way, so he just has a visual of the direction of his hinge. We're gonna blend that like crazy today, and you guys can see a little before and after of how much better this guy's keeping the golf club in front of his hands and in front of his body. Wow, what a gorgeous golf swing. Hey bud, this, okay, this, not that. Not having the butt end of the club point to the target right away. So watch, the wrong way goes like that, right? Boom. The right way, boom. So, you know, for a golfer, that could feel like the butt of the club points more to the inside of the left hip.
Yeah.
Longer. You know, I say those little cues because those cues make a big difference and it'll help you a ton. But you're swinging so beautifully right now. I literally am not going to tell you anything. The only thing I was also going to tell you was make sure your chest turns it to the top, which is what you've done the last couple, which is why now your chest is not leading your arms. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Keep it at it, buddy. See a couple more beautiful swings here. This guy's got a golf swing. Really did. Your only miss now is not takeaway. It's just rhythm from the top. Like you get up here, give it a second. Like be a little more patient. Let it build so your arms actually can get back down in front of you. Sometimes that chest does lead those hands just a little bit.
Yeah,
yeah. Kind of like that. Wow, that was a really good golf swing.
Yeah.
No, wait, are you more jealous of the ability to take my words and immediately do it, or just the ability to do it? A little bit of it. Guys, 3 years. I mean, you gotta put in perspective how, I mean, a lot of our audience can put in perspective how impressive that is. You know, some of our players, you picked it up in a year, and you guys are already shooting like, you know, I mean, come on, you play less than a year and you're breaking 100. That's like, whoa, you know? But let alone some of our players come in and say, yeah, I've been playing a year. They shoot in the 70s, let alone these guys who can actually break par, like often.